spike in violence plaguing the capital city. Several neighborhoods rattled by a string of shootings. A total of 13 people shot, 6 of them killed, all in just 1 week.
Victims of violence like this, there's somebody, right? There's somebody's brother, there's somebody's child, there's somebody's sister, family member, best friend.
And right now, police are looking for the killers in 2 more deadly shootings less than 6 hours apart.
And at the same time, city and community leaders are searching for solutions to stop the violent crime, all while residents are on edge, of course. We have live team coverage tonight from community concerns to fears and frustrations.
Let's begin with KCRA 3's Andrea Flores. She is there anchoring our coverage from North Sacramento. It's just one part of the city that's seen an increase in violence, right, Andrea?
It's just one area of the Sacramento area that we've seen that uptick in crime. And I want to walk you through some of the most recent crimes at this point, because at this point it is starting to get harder to keep track of all of these shootings. So let's take a look. The latest homicide happened in Oak Park early this morning. 1 man is dead and police are still searching for a suspect. Now, this happened on San Jose Way and 11th Avenue. KCRA 3's Danica Hill joins us live from Oak Park right now. And Danica, you were back out in the neighborhood earlier today. Did you learn anything from neighbors, and what's the latest on the investigation?
Yeah, so right now we're standing about a block or so away from where that shooting actually happened, and it's still very early in the investigation, so police have yet to release many details. Now, I did get a chance to speak with some neighbors in the area, and they told me they did hear the gunshots last night, and there were multiple shots. One neighbor told me he lost count because there were so many. Another told me that it sounded like it was coming from an automatic gun. Now, take a look at this video. This is what the scene looks like early this morning as police were still working to gather that evidence. Police say they responded to the scene near 11th and San Jose Way just after midnight. Now, that's where they say they found a man with multiple gunshots. He was taken to the hospital but later died. And as you guys mentioned, this all comes as police are working on multiple homicide cases across the city. They say in just the last week, 13 people have been shot and 6 people have been killed.
Gun violence is plaguing our city. Like I said yesterday, we don't have to live like this, and this gun violence is unacceptable, and we need our community to come together to help us solve these cases.
And currently, police do not have any suspect information related to this shooting. They are asking for the communities to help. And if you see anything, if you know anything, give them a call. And they also say if you're afraid of giving them your name, you can report anonymously through Crime Stoppers. Here in Oak Park, Danica Hill, KCRA 3 News.
And Danica, you've been covering a lot of these shootings, and you've tried to get neighbors and people in the area to talk to you. A lot of them seem hesitant to do so. Why do you think that is?
Yeah, so the reason that many of the neighbors are telling me they don't want to talk is just out of fear of retaliation. They're afraid if they put their face on camera and share their names with them, that something could happen to them. Now, they're saying they're not really living in fear, but it is the fact that there is a possibility of retaliation, and they just don't want to be next. Back to you.
Danica, makes a lot of sense. Of course, that fear of retaliation keeps people from not only talking to the media, but also talking to law enforcement in some cases. And we want to stress that this isn't happening just in North Sacramento or Oak Park. This is happening in other parts of the city as well. So we want to talk about other crimes that we've seen. Now, just a few hours before the shooting in Oak Park, police were already looking for a person who shot and killed a man in South Sacramento. This happened just before 8:30 last night on Center Parkway near Valley High Drive. Police spent the night combing through the area looking for any possible clues, and officers say they are talking to a person of interest at this point, but so far no arrests have been made. And Sacramento Police Chief Kathy Lester calls the rise in gun violence disturbing, and I actually talked to her right as she became police chief more than a year and a half ago, and she said one of her main focuses was going to be on preventing crime and making sure that people were safe in the city. So today she spent part of her afternoon talking to community leaders about this uptick in violence and what the community can do. Michelle Bandour was at that meeting, and she joins us live now from police headquarters. So Michelle, what did the police chief have to say to people in the community?
Well, Chief Kathy Lester wanted to get in front of those community-based organizations after this rise in gun violence. She wanted to speak with them directly. These community members are working together to try to prevent this type of violence and try to get a handle on why this gun violence is happening in the first place. She says law enforcement can't bring justice to these families of the victims until they actually work with the community. Chief Lester met with more than a dozen representatives of several community-based organizations at their monthly meeting today. Now, they're taking a deeper look into the root causes of the crimes and where they're happening and who are the victims. And Chief Lester called it alarming. She said that 75% of the victims are Hispanic or Black and that 50% are under the age of 30, with many of the crimes taking place in a small part of the city. She said Del Paso Heights, Oak Park, Meadowview, and Valley High. Lester says police and the neighborhoods need each other to keep the community safe.
Our community safety is a shared responsibility. We can have a very important role as law enforcement, but if we don't have the support of the community and if we don't have the support of the city, we can't be effective. Just like the community can't be effective without law enforcement.
It just breaks my heart because at nighttime, we're going to these shooting sites in the hospitals, and in the morning time and in evening times, we're going to graduations. So just the emotional toll that it takes upon us, it's huge.
Yeah, and Jerome Anderson there with SAR said that he called it an honor to have Chief Lester appear at their meeting today because he said it's important that she's recognizing that there needs to be help here. Now, she says the city just recently approved $1 million for these community-based organizations so they can continue their work of getting to the cause, getting to the youth before they actually commit these crimes. Reporting live at police headquarters, Michelle Bandor, KCRA 3 News.
And Michelle, you actually asked Chief Lester what's driving this violence. What was her answer?
Well, yeah, we asked her that question, and Chief Lester says it's really not one thing. She says it's part of a bigger problem than these recent incidents of gun violence, and she says that's what they're trying to find out is try to get to the problems and get to these youth before they pick up the gun in the first place.
All right, Michelle, thank you so much. Live from police headquarters. And we've been talking about some of the violence that has happened in the Del Paso Heights area, but some people who live in the neighborhood say there's a lot more to this neighborhood than the violence that we're covering. They say the city has a vibrant past and the neighborhood has a very vibrant community there. And KCRA 3's Jason Marks joins me now. He's been covering the Del Paso Heights area. You've talked to people in the community, residents, law enforcement. What have you learned through your coverage?
Listen, when we talk about northern Sacramento, this was a once vibrant area, as you mentioned. It was like a village. It wasn't perfect, but everyone looked after everyone else. And that was in the 60s and 70s, early 80s, until crack cocaine came in the mid 80s. And that's when things changed. You started to see gangs move in, you started to see violence, and a lot of lives were lost.
I believe that my brother was a martyr, and he left you young people, and he left something in you to let you know that you were all winners. We are winners in Del Paso Heights.
It's a different community. You wouldn't even recognize it was where it was then.
It's as if that's what we expect in that neighborhood, so therefore when it happens, no big deal.
What bothers me the most is that we never talk about the root cause.
Demanding entry. Clean appearance.
Go.
Dog. Fashionable name.
I can get a $10 route, and I can sell that for $20.
Make it extremely alluring.
An underground of dealers evolved at every social level, making drugs of all kinds more powerful, more accessible, and more affordable than ever before.
Like crack cocaine is on the rise.
Drug dealing in this city is open. It's aggressive.
Youngsters going to jail, getting killed.
Gang-style shootings around Sacramento.
There's certain neighborhoods where there's more shootings, more homicides.
Police are scared to come down here.
El Paso Heights is definitely one of those.
We ain't with all the talking, all the bull. We trying to kill you.
Del Paso Heights is still reeling from the impact of the crack epidemic.
So what you saw there was a portion, a tease, as we should say in the business, right, of our documentary that airs tonight at 8 o'clock. Del Paso Heights Cracking and Epidemic, where we really go and examine why we see the violence today, how that was caused by the crack cocaine epidemic, and how it really, a generation after generation, was lost here in Del Paso Heights. So that's tonight, right here on KCRA, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. And what's the biggest thing that you think people in the community want to take away from this documentary?
Well, you know, this is a problem that affects us all, right? And what we want to do is we got to know that. And so when we're sitting in our living rooms watching this at 8 o'clock and watching some of the people who have dealt with this here in Del Paso Heights, you have to realize that it's all because of resources. We look at an area like Natomas. When they lost the Kings went to downtown. What happened to that area? Well, they built the Aquatic Center, where now they have regular team meets, where the hotels are filled, in the restaurants, people are spending money. Then what are they doing now at the old Arco Arena site? What they're doing is they're building this billion-dollar medical center. But when things were lost here, such as McClellan Air Force Base, here in northern Sacramento, nothing was put in to replace it. And so it just choked off the area and created poverty. And then, of course, they were looking for ways to make money, made it ripe for crack cocaine. You had to make money, right? So let me sell crack.
Okay. All right, Jason, looking forward to that again. We are going to have this documentary again on KCRA 3 at 8, and it is Del Paso Heights Cracking and Epidemic right here on KCRA 3. And again, we're live here in North Sacramento. We've been covering the crime that has plagued the city now for more than a week. We'll continue that coverage, and we'll have more live from North Sacramento coming up tonight at 5. We'll send it back to you.
Andrea, thank you.
KCRA 3 will continue to track these series of shootings in Sacramento. Reaction is coming in from several community groups. You can stay up to date on our free KCRA 3 app. It is, again, free to download, and be sure to enable push alerts to have breaking news sent straight to your phone.